Can you tell me a little bit about Creative Equity Builders? How long have you guys been in business? What do you do?
So Creative Equity Builders has been in business since 2015. We've been designing kitchens and bathrooms. We also do other highly functional areas, master dressing suites, game rooms, anything where you'd have high functionality or you want specific aesthetics. So before that, we were doing, full renovations, but not exclusively in the kitchen and bathroom field.
Right. And you first heard about me when I called you up on the phone. And that was kind of what started our relationship, right?
Yeah, after you reach out to me by phone, that's what started our relationship.
Yeah. So I mean, you've already told me a little bit, but I do like to hear it again. What ultimately led you to join and actually start, working with me?
What ultimately made me want to start working with you is that when I started to listen to you as a person talk to me, I didn't hear a sales pitch as much as I did an effort for somebody to want to grow their business. And within growing someone's business, you're going to be successful. And you're going to be successful through hours of dedication and trying for your clients. If you're successful for your clients, you're going to be successful as a business owner. And something that I heard in you is more of a sincerity than just trying to sell somebody on, advertising package.
Yeah. No, and that's kind of been my philosophy. So I'm glad that came through. Were you still skeptical at first, though? Like, did you have any doubts?
Everybody has doubts when they try something new. But the way you were able to structure something that made me feel comfortable as far as a agreement in business is how we would, you know, um, work with each other in the growth
Yeah.
aspect. Made me feel comfortable getting started with you and working with you and seeing the fact of how you're following up and how you're making modifications to your advertising plan, how you're learning from what's working and what's not working keeps me, you know, believing in you as an advertising agency.
Right. Um, was there anything that maybe almost prevented you from working with me?
Um, your inexperience.
Yeah.
So your inexperience because you were so new to the industry. I had to weigh whether how much risk I was actually getting involved with, but I was also weighing that against the dedication I believe you were bringing to the table. So, I believe when someone dedicates themselves as much as you have, and I believe you will to your business, once again, I believe you will be successful, and in return, I'll be successful being a part of your business.
Yeah. No, and I appreciate that a lot. I know you tried Angie's and we're trying Angie's when we started working together. Did you work with any other kind of marketing services in the past?
I've used Facebook and Facebook ads and Google ads, and it's very time consuming. And as we've had previous conversations, I've explained how time consuming it has been, and that would be a benefit of using you for your services. So that way, I wouldn't have to worry about trying to spend all this time advertising myself, where you could take that on full time, and I could worry more about landing clients and working with my clients than I would trying to find my clients.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Um, and so you were doing some of your own Facebook ads before, right? Did I cut out? Ah, fuck. I cut out. Can you hear me?
You're kind of cutting. You're kind of cutting out, but I don't.
Yeah, I just had an internet problem. Is this any better?
Um, I'm not sure.
Okay. Well, you stopped freezing on my end, so I think that works. So I want to dive into the results, specifically in month one a little bit, since we blew it away in month one. It sounded, gave me a lot of hope for what was to come. So can you talk about what happened during that first 4 weeks working together?
In the first 4 weeks we had, it seems like you put a marketing strategy together for ads that were kind of gimmicky, where we'd have a wide range of people um, trying to get involved with whether they wanted a kitchen and bathroom design, but not so high quality leads, but a lot of leads. We were getting a lot of leads. Now, within those leads, you were kind of sifting through to figure out what was quality, what wasn't quality. And during that first 4 weeks, we actually, landed 200 $50,000 worth of revenue from those leads, and which has increased over 300,000 from that first month with the add-ons from those projects.
Nice. So how many projects was it in particular?
That was 3 projects in the first month. It was 3 projects. They were just large projects.
Gotcha. All right. So if you had to, and you already kind of just talked about this, but if you had to summarize the results so far, like to this date, what would you say?
I would say that the results have been worth my time, and that I'm really looking forward to what the future may bring with the lead generation that we're currently working on building. I have a lot of hopes for the future. I know that things don't happen overnight. I know that it can be hit or miss or sometimes. I think that's with every marketing campaign. But I believe in your dedication to your business, and I believe that you want to see all your clients be successful. So for that reason, I've been in it for the long haul, even though we've had some slow months.
Yeah. And besides that, just kind of from my own feedback, I feel like I have a pretty good understanding of what you like about working with me and doing business with me, which I appreciate you giving me feedback on. But what do you dislike, and what have you disliked about working with me so far?
Um, the key thing I've disliked would be when you've had to, part of you building your business is you having to do things that like push off your work onto other people, and it's part of growing. So at the point that you're hiring people to now take phone calls to, have the same professional phone conversations that you've had to set appointments up, and you had to give it away to somebody else to do the same thing for me. That would probably be the number one thing that stands out to me, because once again, when I first met you, it was, I believe in Keegan, not I believe in the person that is working for Keegan.
Right.
But I believe that you'll do everything that you can to make sure that person is best representing your interests in building your business. So it's something that I have to try to just be mindful of, and, give it a chance.
Yeah. And that's good feedback. I've gotten that from a couple different guys, because one of the reasons that I think a lot of people work with me is because of that. I was really doing everything, running the ads, calling the leads, managing all the appointments and stuff like that. Which I've tried my hardest to kind of pass along what I've learned onto Haley, but I understand, like, as you start to delegate, it's not going to stay perfect. But no, that is good feedback. And do you have any idea how much you've closed to date in total revenue since we started working together?
Um, I would say close to 450,000, $500,000, somewhere in that range.
Okay, nice. Um,
So I would say that was, maybe in a 6-month, 7-month period.
yeah.
But
And
aside from that, I mean, the first month was definitely the biggest. I think that, there's going to be probably at least 1 or 2 big months every year. But when it comes down to it, I also have a ton of leads that are definitely interested in the following years. So there's probably about a handful of clients that have great projects that we've talked to, and we're waiting for those people to kind of, gain traction with starting their projects. Very serious. They can afford to take on the projects. They're just not necessarily ready because of holidays or kids, sports seasons. They want to do more planning. So there's quite a few projects from leads that I believe that we will have, that we got this year, that won't really go through until next year.
yeah, yeah. And that's what's tough about selling big ticket, is it's not as easy as closing them on like I don't know, like a roof repair or
And
something.
I'm more interested in the big ticket. So yes, I
Yeah,
can close smaller jobs a lot quicker, but that's not what I'm interested in. I'm
right.
interested in larger projects. I let the small ones go, give them to other people. I'm always looking for the larger projects. So for that, yes, it's not like you're just going to walk right in the door and sign one. No matter what you're offering or how good it is. I mean, unless you're giving it away, and then even you have a hard time getting on some people's schedules.
Yeah,
So in order for everything to work, align perfectly, it just takes some time. So
yeah,
it's not like it just happens overnight, but having a solid method to work towards it, it always pay off.
yeah. No, that's good to hear. And so you might not have an answer to this question, but what were some of the issues or problems that you were having prior to working with me that have now been resolved?
Well, that's an easy question to answer. Um, the biggest problem that I was having before working with you was contacting clients or potential leads. So, reaching out to people would take a lot of time. And it was also hard for me to stay organized with reaching out to these people on a regular enough basis to follow up. People are busy. They don't always answer their phones. So with your call system, the way you have it laid out, you're constantly following up through text, email, or phone call. And, not overwhelming people, but enough to get a response to figure out if the person wants to move forward with an appointment or if they just want to kind of sit still and, come back to it another time. But that has freed up a tremendous amount of time, and it's been much more efficient because, we're getting clients to respond a lot more than I would had if I had been doing it myself, or even in-house for that matter. It's not necessary. I don't have to manage a person. I give it to you. You're managing all the potential leads coming in and getting those appointments set. So it saves a lot of time, and it also makes sure that I'm not letting leads slip through the cracks.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. No, that's good, because that's one of the things that's one of the big value adds. I think we're not just giving you leads, but we're actually calling them up, vetting them, doing all that stuff.
Exactly.
So this might be a difficult question again to answer, because you never really know. But when we continue to work together throughout 2024, how much revenue do you think you will likely add through our services now, doing your website, doing your Google, doing your Facebook? If you had to predict how much potential revenue you would add in 2024, do you have a number?
1 to 2 million.
1 to 2 million. Okay. Sweet. Yeah, I think that's very doable. And is there anything that surprised you about the service that we're offering you and working together?
I wouldn't say there's anything that has surprised me so far. I mean, I think the first month was surprising, and I think that if every month was like the first month, I'd still be surprised. But I think being realistic, not every month can be like that first month. But it could have been the third month, it could have been the fifth month. But 1 to 2 months a year, having big months makes the whole year worth advertising. So it's hard to say when those big months are going to be, but you just have to be consistent within your campaign and trust the process, which I do, because I've been through it myself plenty of times. You got to take a yearly average. You can't just average it off of one quarter.
Yeah. No, that's true. And besides everything we kind of talked about today with like the feedback that you had, what could I have done differently that you think would have been better or improved the results or your experience?
I think you're doing a lot. You're educating yourself, you're trying different things, you're, working with other people, to try to, work on your means and methods to improve your strategy. Your biggest downside in this industry is you being, inexperienced. But, which we've also talked about before, but, my interpretation of your inexperience with your level of dedication is that, I'm just getting in on ground floor of a marketing company that's going to be very successful in the future, which puts me in a better position to work with you and not feel like I have to pay tens of thousands of dollars just to get into a marketing company that's going to be successful definitively in the future. So is it a little bit of risk of a gamble? Yes. But do I see it being fully justified? I do.
Yeah, that makes me happy. Awesome. I do like hearing that analogy, the stock analogy. And can you describe like your ideal client, like their demographic, your not just like
My
the
ideal
job to
client
get
is
you.
a woman, in her mid 40s and older. And, men typically are a little bit more difficult to deal with. Women seem like they know what they want a little bit more, and they're susceptible to listening to you, and taking your advice. So I feel like 90% of my clients are middle-aged women or older. And, so that would probably be my ideal client demographically.
Okay. And have we been able to get you clients like that?
Yes.
Sweet. These questions are kind of stupid, but you let me know if you have answers to them. If you don't, no worries. But what was one unexpected benefit you got from working with us?
You are now taking on my website, and we've come up with a business agreement for you to advertise my website. And I was something that I was worried about, just kind of letting my website become another virtual business card that would just end up in the internet of a million things. So with you kind of working on building out my site and working on the search engine optimization aspects of it, it's just another way for me to bring in business efficiently. Because right now I had no one else working on it, and it's just another thing that you're adding to the arsenal of marketing.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and it's not something I was expecting to be doing this soon either, but it just makes the most sense given like the quality of leads you can get on that. And last question here. What would you say to someone who's considering working with me?
I would say that I don't think that they're going to find anybody else that's going to be as fair as you are when it comes to trying to make the business relationship successful.
Hmm.
And being fair is important. You can't ask for somebody to give you everything and give them nothing. You can't, you have to, it has to be a balanced agreement. And, you're looking for people that are sincere and fair and going to be honest with you, transparent, all those things. And I believe it's what you bring to the table versus a lot of these marketing agencies that are just out here just to gain more clients. I call them pump and dump. They just
Yeah.
pump as many out as they can. And if whether they fall off or not doesn't matter. You want your clients to be happy and to stay with you.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree with that. All right. Well, sweet. Those were really all the questions I had for you. I appreciate you doing this. I know you didn't want to, but I really appreciate you doing it because not a lot of people will. So the fact that you were willing to hop on here and hop on the video it means a lot.
No, buddy, if I could get somebody to do something like this for me that could answer my questions the way I believe I should have been able to answer them for you, I would have definitely took full advantage of it.
Yeah. Yeah.